My name is Destiny Ray.
And I'm Tia DeShazor, and we are the founders of Bold. Thank you for tuning in to Bold 2020. We believe that Black women will change the world.
And tonight, you are going to see two new works written by bold women who write with urgency in response and in light of the systemic silencing of Black women's voices.
We invite you to flood the chat with your applause and love and enjoy the show. Welcome to Bold 2020.
My name is Kristen Adele Calhoun, and this is the oldest town in Texas.
Late January, 1875, Nacogdoches, Texas, downtown. The sound of the Bonita Creek just over yonder. It's cold enough to make an angel cuss. An ancient live oak stands in the center of the public square. Underneath the tree is a makeshift platform. Louisa Bladen, aged 23, stands on the crate. There is a top noose around her neck. She is 8 months pregnant. Nevertheless, she is dancing.
What's all that wiggling you doing?
The lights expand to reveal a hooded and cloaked hangman next to her.
I said, what's all that wiggling you doing?
I feel like dancing.
Well, don't.
I'll be damned if I leave this world with this dance locked up in me.
You gonna hurt yourself if you keep it up.
That seems awfully moot at this point. Did you hear that?
What?
Nothing. I thought I heard a red bird.
It's the dead of winter. No birds in their right minds around these parts. Now hold still so we can get to the fun part.
The fun part?
You heard me.
There's really something wrong with you people.
Sister, you have no idea.
I ain't none of your sister. Now it's cold and I'm tired of your mouth. You might as well get on with what you came to do.
Like your fire, let us begin. Ladies, fellas, and gentle people, the time has arrived for us to start the main event. It is with great delight that we bring justice to Nacogdoches on this 22nd day of January 1875. Are you Louisa Bladen Jones, formerly owned by Orlando Durst of Leona, Texas?
I ain't, nor have I ever been owned by none but me.
Were you or were you not born a slave owned by the Durst?
Slave is your word, not mine. Were me and my people kidnapped and forced to labor under evil men and women? Yes. Did someone else own us? Never.
So are you denying that before the war the Durst owned you and you worked for them after the war?
You can't own what ain't for sale. Just because them people call themselves buying, selling, and gifting us to their children don't mean we ever belong to them. That's a lie we never agreed to.
Okay, are you, Louisa Bladen, guilty of poisoning Mr. and Mrs. Durst and all of their descendants?
It doesn't matter. They dead, ain't they? And you got me up here to send me to join them. Seemed to me like we should just get on with it.
Louisa Bladen, you have been found guilty of the deaths of these people. Do you have nothing else to say? This is your very last chance to confess your sins and seek the forgiveness of Christ Almighty and these good Christian folk gathered here today.
Oh, you looking for a confession? That's what you want out of me? All right. Here's what I'll confess. The night they died, the Durst had themselves a costume ball. Most of y'all was there, wearing your frippery and your finest, playing pretend. Seems to me that's your favorite pastime. Y'all love putting a mask on shit and trying to call it satin. And you hate anybody, black, white, or otherwise, who looks behind your veils and ain't afraid to stare you dead in the eye. But it's high time to see the shit for what it is and call it by its name. You try to cloak this evil of yours with talks of Christian charity. But the wax been long melted from that disguise. Where is Jesus when you work us to death? Where is the fruit of the Holy Spirit when you rape us into your families and turn around and sell your own children? Where is your Christ when you lynch those of us who are defiant in the face of your evil? If he is to be found, he ain't nowhere around here. Your very own Bible tells you that one day the meek will inherit the earth. And that's what keeps you up at night. You know our suffering can't last always because you know we come closer to the Christ you claim to worship than you ever will. Why else would you trust us to suckle your hollering babies? If we were the animals you claim us to be, would we not bash in their heads and feed them to you in the meals you trust us to cook? Would we not slit your thieving throats as you slept? Would we not burn your crops and your storehouses and by your very own measures of justice? Would we not be justified? Tell me. You sit silent because you know I speak true. So, my deep, dark confession is this. I have never harmed a soul. Oh, but you can trust and believe that after I die, I will make it my eternal mission to bring nothing but pain and suffering to each of your houses. So hang me and my child if you want to. But just like your Jesus, we are not a dying people. When you throw us from your ships, we learn to breathe in the depths of the oceans. When you burn us at the stakes, we become the very soil on which you tried to build. When you shoot us in our fleeing backs, we merge with the mighty winds. When you put your knee to our necks, we return to the stars where we watch and plot your almighty destruction. So, take our bodies today. And you only sent us to join a mighty army. We will be there in every flood that seizes your homes, in every fire that burns the bounty in your barns, in every pestilence that ails your elders, in every boat capsized, in every child born dead. Kill us if you must. But like the sweet son of Mary, we will not die.
That child just called down a powerful curse on your head. If it was me, I'd get her down from there.
That's not the way this works. This woman has been convicted of murder. Surely somebody must object to the notion of just letting her go free.
I didn't say nothing about just
Letting her go free. You go free her and give her something to make all this right. Now, everybody, put as much money as you can to send this woman on as far off as possible.
They don't have to give me nothing. I don't want a cent of their blood money.
Child, hush. All the work we done for free, every penny in their pocket belong to us. Since we ain't got no objections, go on take that rope from round her neck. And you may as well take that hood off your head, too.
America? And Elizabeth, my sisters. Oh, y'all came for me.
America has dropped her black robe, and underneath, she is armed with sticks of dynamite.
Anybody even thinks of following us out of here, I will blow you all away.
You ain't got to worry about that. Louisa done tranced them good.
What I did?
You used the power of the truth to cast a spell so strong they couldn't do nothing but get right. By the time they get unstuck and back to their evilin' ways, we'll be long gone.
That's why they all just sitting there looking up here like that.
That's why. But in case any of them call themselves waking up, I got something for them.
Sisters, where's Daddy?
Daddy in the wagon. And the old pale beast ain't gonna stay trans forever. We best be going before we run out of time.
As magic as we is, and you worried about a little old thing like time? Sister just showed you time ain't no master of ours. We can bend and flip old man time any which way we want to.
Miss America Blake, in the same way you need all your sticks of dynamite to feel safe, I need to put some space between me and these peckerwoods to put my mind at ease.
If it's gonna bring you ease, then let's be going.
Hold on a minute. I was all set to die and turn into an angry hate. What's the point of living when they so evil and tear up any little thing we tried to build?
It's all we got, Louisa. You, sister, me. This life you carrying, our brothers back home. We live because we know with each passing day we inch closer to freedom. This baby you're bearing, she gonna get to see a world our mama and big mama couldn't even fathom. So we carry on for all that came along and all that came before and all that coming along.
And for us too, shoot, look, life is good. Once you figure out how to protect your peace, get yourself some good food, good loving, and a good gun. And see if you don't want to try, if you ain't trying to live another 145 years.
Who got time for the high life when it ain't nothing but work to be done? It ain't nobody to help me to do it.
Why you think we come up here and brought with us everything we learned down in Mexico? Sister and I have seen what freedom looked like, have tasted it, rubbed it in like a balm till it become part of our skin. And we not gonna rest till you know it too.
Shoot, if y'all gonna do all that, then we best to get to going.
Now you're talking.
Before I forget, Mama wanted you to have this.
What is it?
Don't worry about that now. It'll show you once it's time. Now hold my hand and stay close. The only way this works is with all of us together.
Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Talk together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. We're gonna walk and never tire, walk and never tire, walk and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
Hallelujah, son. Raise up the black boy. Even before he enters the world, let's celebrate the plus sign, like hoots and hollers at graduation, 'cause you know we loud. As tears stream down my face as I hear your heartbeat for the first time. Raise up the black father who captured it all, who is oozing with coolness yet bursting with questions. He is Harlem born, rooms filled with accents and hard work. The shield of love I never knew I needed. The second pair of soft prayer hands that wraps around my belly like a seatbelt. How our son will first know you by face, smell, voice, and touch. Raise up the Lord. As my body becomes a home surrendering to 9 months of changes He designed. How I am blessed to participate in creation. How thankful I am of my tired bones and double pumping veins. Raise up the women that came before me. Nichelle, Sandra, Pearl, and Grace. How to see 3 generations is a miracle. Minneapolis born, rooms filled with the aroma of hot combs before picture day and fish scales on newspapers. Raise up the families as they get built with every ache and bloodshed, like an unbreakable tattered quilt carefully woven together to protect the child. Raise up the sleep that is nourishing and necessary. How God knew we weren't created to remain awake. How I am embracing the quietness of naps, this new sanctuary in my body I rest in. Praise the growing itchy boobs and parting hips preparing for delivery. As placenta wraps you and cord connects you, I pay homage to the linea nigra. As SI joints soak in baths and breathing is effort, raise up the round ligaments and rib pain as I wrestle with laying on the left side. The amniotic fluid you swim in daily, I submit to the kicks of your feet. Raise up the growing bump. Praiseworthy stretch marks and hemorrhoids. Raise up all God's plans specifically designed and none by accident. How my hallelujah son is not an accident. How our black sons are not an accident. They are not targets or threats or less than human. Our sons are answered prayers. Hallelujah. Raise up the black boy. Amen.
Hi, my name is Jazmine Stewart, and this is Queen Nanny.
Queen Nanny by Jazmine Stewart. The Maroons are the descendants of the Ashanti people who come from the area of present-day Ghana. They were taken away from their homeland by the Spanish and brought to the island of Jamaica in the 16th century. In 1655, the British invaded Jamaica. After defeating the Spanish, this transition of power incited the Maroon War. Using their skills, traditions, and deeply rooted spirituality, the Maroon people rebelled and escaped bondage. One of these villages that still exists today is called Nanny Town, which was named after one of the fiercest leaders of this period. Her name is Queen Nanny. Scene 1. The land of look behind. Darkness. It is nighttime. Trees, greenery, and shrubbery. Crickets can be heard all around. The forest is still, but lurking in the bushes there is something very much alive. We see a lone British soldier trudging through the forest. Musket in hand, red petticoat. He is afraid. He looks behind himself. He turns back around, and all of a sudden a bush comes alive and engulfs him. There is a tug of war. A shot is fired in the air. He tries to fight back, but fast approaching is another bush with a long spear. He is stabbed and falls to the ground. Silence. Other bushes begin to rumble. One by one, they reveal their faces. The last bush and the one that killed the British soldier reveals itself to be Queen Nanny. In the distance, we hear the sound of the abang.
Come.
Scene 2. Nanny Town, Jamaica. Early morning. Queen Nanny and her troops have made it back to the village.
Nana, praise Akopong.
Akosawa, was it you that sound the bell?
Aye, Nana. There's news from down below.
What news?
Come inside and make we talk.
Scene 3. Inside the hut. A runaway slave, Obiye, is tied up. Standing next to him is Horea.
This slave said a white man won a peace treaty.
Horea, wagwan.
Seneko kakona, Nana.
You catch this man.
Aye. He hide himself in the bush, but I catch him.
What is your name?
Obiye.
Ah, Yoruba.
My grandfather was a king before I born on this land. I am not a slave. I am the descendant of royalty. I hate the white man and I want to fight with you.
We don't accept a brony.
Akuswa, let the outsider speak. So you come here to fight with us. What is this then?
That little girl is right. A peace treaty, but not for you. For your brother, Kojo of Trelawney Town. The white man say him going to give Kojo 1,500 acres of land if he give over capture slave. They want him to put down the slave rebellion. But as for you, Miss Nanny...
Queen Nanny.
Queen Nanny. The British Army is coming here tomorrow to take this land. If you refuse to sign the treaty, they're going to capture it by force.
Peace treaty? There is nothing in these declarations. I will never trust the white man. And why should I trust you, a runaway slave?
Because I talk the truth. I know who I am. I am not a slave. Your brother is the one who is a traitor.
Do you know who we are? I am the daughter of Chief Kojo, son of Nekwan, who led the rebels of Sutton's estate. I don't know anything about your king, but watch how you talk about the name of King Kojo.
Of course, what? Shamu shamu. Talk some and leave some. Okay, Obiye, what do you have to offer?
Also take away everything we have. But what I can offer is my word. Why would I travel all this way through the forest and the mountains? Why would I risk my life to warn you of this? Because I have nothing left to lose and everything to gain serving you, Queen Nanny.
You betray me, our ancestors will find you, hunt you like a hog, and kill you. You sabi? Warrior, stay here with this man until tomorrow. We will see if the truth him at on talk. Akosawa, come with me.
Aye, Nana.
Scene 4. Midnight. Nanny and Akoswa are in a different hut. There is a huge pot bubbling, but no fire underneath. There are herbs, branches, oils, and charms all around.
Pass me that bush there.
Nana, you think what the man say are truth?
I don't know if I true to him talk, but either way we have to prepare ourselves.
You think said Papa could ever turn from our people?
Kojo the mountain lion is one of the greatest warriors our people has ever known. The white man is a strong force, but them is no match against me brother. He will stand firm.
But what about the land where them offer him? 1,500 acres. I respect my father, but to tell you the truth, Auntie, I don't know if he could pass up that kind of offer.
Oh, hush! You so easily lose faith in us? Our people could never be bribed by a British devil. Quick, pass me that pot over there. I'm going to pour some inside. Watch your hand. Mind it, Bunya.
What does really work, Nana?
My child, this a buy a pea. Good witchcraft always prevails. Now, time for the second batch.
Scene 5. Early morning. It is still dark. The Maroons are preparing for war. They have branches wrapped around their heads and bodies, spears, bows, and arrows in hand. They take capfuls of rum and spray it over both of their shoulders. They say prayers and take handfuls of bushes and rub it underneath their feet. Nanny, Correa, Akoswa, and Obioye all stand at the forest's edge.
Maroons!
Hey!
We are ready to fight. We ready for defend our freedom.
Hey!
A group of men begin to scratch their kete war drums, which resembles the sound of a leopard.
Praise Akompong, creator of all things.
Ashe!
The white man is no match for his spirit.
Ashe!
Praise our ancestors who guide and protect us.
Ashe!
Make we fill our spirits with courage and pride.
Ashe!
We are Maroons. We are Africans.
We are Maroons. We are African.
Ashe!
Ashe!
The kete drums sound the rhythm of war. They disperse into the forest. Scene 6. Forest, trees, greenery, and shrubbery. Stillness. The forest is quiet, but lurking in the bushes there is something very much alive. An army of British soldiers trudge through vines and leaves. They march towards the village of Nannytown. Then, the scratching sound of the kete drums. The roar of a leopard. All at once, the soldiers are startled. They shout and run. Bushes behind them come alive and chase after them. A few muskets go off. Their shots are missed. From behind trees, arrows fly. A few soldiers fall to the ground. Some of them continue running ahead. Then from above,
Hey!
the soldiers look up. The Maroons pour Nanny's brew from their sacks onto their heads. The liquids fall from the treetops like heavy rain. They cry out in agony as their eyes and skin burn. Some drop their muskets and fall back. Others hit the ground. The few left continue pushing forward. Then, coming head on, a group of Maroons led by the Queen Nanny holding spears. They charge. Shots are fired. A Maroon hits the ground. They fight. Arrows fly. Spears pierce through petticoats and muskets are disarmed. Eventually, the fighting subsides. British soldiers scatter the forest floor. Nanny appears and stands in the middle of a clearing.
Maroons, we have won.
She sounds the abe. Scene 7. America 2020. The bedroom of 20-year-old Chantal. Chantal is sitting on a mat. There is incense burning, a bowl of water, a candle lit, and crystals next to her. Then, the image of Queen Nanny appears in her mirror. Chantal catches it out of the corner of her eye and is startled. Nanny disappears.
Spirit? My spirit has been calling me. My spirit has been charging me to be more than what I am. I have a plan. I have been chosen. The great queen mothers of my past assembled, whispered into God's ears, "Behold, it was me. I I was made to be free, to live and love and dream, to overcome, to achieve. Break chains greater than the ones that carried my ancestors overseas, taken from a place they never thought they would ever leave. Wish I could transcend time, rewrite history, reclaim the names of the lost ones left in mystery. I am trying to piece together the timeline of our victories, brainwashed into believing that we were nothing more than victims. See, the light inside that is burning has always been burning, will forever burn. I'm trying to light the path when all around me is darkness, when all around me are demons, when all around me is... I'm afraid my blackness will be my death. I'm afraid my blackness will be my death. I'm afraid my blackness will be my death. Am I next? How can a black woman with the spirit of a warrior fight the battles of today? How can a black woman stand on her own 2 feet when her own soil has been forsaken? How can a black woman survive in the times threatening to erase her ancestors? I call upon you. Aminatu, Amina Renas, Nzinga, Yabingi, Sekusa, Sojourner, Sarunia, Asuntawa, Mino, Kolada, Asada, Ahosi, Harriet, Nandi, Queen Nanny. Strength, courage, power that lives within me. Thank you for rebelling. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for screaming so loud. Your people are surviving through this lifetime and the next. You will never, ever be forgotten.
You are everything I have dreamed you to be. You are a warrior queen.
End of play.
Reflecting off the matter. You here for work or you here to play? I'm going with the latter. Cause how you feel isn't what you say. You're searching for the answer. Pose the question if you wanna know why. Won't you look to the sky? And if the sky seems too high, well, you just got to change your mind. I've been vibing with the starlight all night. The queen of heaven is the golden sunshine. Illumination starts on the inside. That's right. This is it. The music got my heart, so I know I can't quit. Sometimes I fall apart, frequencies, counting up my chips. I create worlds as the air hits my lips. When I formulate my words, I utilize my gift. I got the power to make anything exist. And yes, I do admit, the future I can predict. If you ask me how, I'll tell you I write it. Therefore I can cite it. Visualize, follow the vibes. Would you call this magic? This is what we came to do. Do you believe in you? Whether you do or you don't, you were speaking the truth. Do you believe in time? Do you trust your mind? Are you handling yours? Are you distracted by mine? By your eyes, thinking this is all there is, all there'll ever be. Activate your mind and you'll activate the key. Everything is vibrating before it can be seen. Thoughts in your heart are the seeds of your dreams. Wanna know why? Won't you look to the sky? And if the sky seems too high, well, you just got to change your mind.
Yeah. Look, now I can't help it if I'm beautiful. Can't help it if I look good. Can't help it if you got a problem, I misunderstood. Now I'm just rolling with the punches, keeping the path straight. Put the headphones on, and I'm in a mind state. Got the impression on my face, and I never deliver late. I live life at my own pace. I fix my own mistakes, all my wrongs. I'm a writer mess. I lightly touch the brakes. Let them homies keep their troubles. I ain't in this rap race. That's how I live though. You see, I always keep it real though. The D&B got me feeling like chill though. Kill mode. You cook the chicken, I make the mumbo. And I know you got my back in case I tumble or fall, cause we've been through it all. We never stop. Embrace the beauty of the day. Let negativity drop. I let you in on a little secret. Keep your vibrations up. And if you let me, I can teach you how to vibe with the sun.
Like starlight all night. The queen of heaven is the golden sunshine. Illumination starts on the inside. That's right. I've been vibing with the starlight all night. The queen of heaven is the golden sunshine. Illumination starts on the inside. That's right. And we chillin', and we feelin' all good, cause we chillin'.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bold 2020 Talk Back with the incredible playwrights and directors whose work you just got to see and live with. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but I wanted to say, give you a moment to applaud them one more time. These pieces both speak of incredible lineage, a connection to the ancestors, our ancestors. So without further ado, I want to start off and say, hi, I'm Destiny Ray. I am the daughter of Wanda McGinnis, who's the daughter of Pauline Maxwell. I'm from Texas, and I am a Black woman who is in love with other Black women. Kristen Adele, who are you?
Destiny, I love that introduction. And I am Kristen Adele Calhoun. I'm the daughter of Glow Calhoun, who was the daughter of Hazel Jean, who's the daughter of Madurby Davis, who's the daughter of Elvira Davis, who's the daughter of Louisa Bladen, who we saw in the play with her sisters, America and Louisa, who was the daughter of Elmira Davis. And I'm also from Texas, and I wrote The Oldest Town in Texas.
Incredible. Thank you.
My name is Jazmine Stewart. I wrote Queen Nanny. I am from New York City. My family are the descendants of Jamaicans who are the descendants of the Ashanti. Yeah, my mother's name is Andrea Stewart. Her mother's name was Viola Lewis. Yeah, and I'm just grateful to be a part of this bold community with bold Black women. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Jasmine. Tavia Riveé, Jefferson, who are you?
Hi, I am Tavia Riveé Jefferson, the daughter of Sonora Colvin, who is the daughter of Queen Steele, who is the daughter of Ella May. I directed Queen Nanny. We hail from very many places as a military brat, but we claim Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Incredible. Thank you, Tavia. And Bianca LaVerne Jones, who are you?
Hi, I'm Bianca LaVerne Jones. I am daughter of Carolyn Taretha Williams Jones, who's the daughter of Lily Taretha Williams Blue, who's the daughter of Lily Blue. And we are from Cameroon, and we are also Cherokee Indian American. And I was born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, and I come to this project with such a full heart and so much gratitude to be with these beautiful and bold women. Thank you, Destiny, for having me.
Of course. Thank you all for letting us know you and your people. I'm just so moved. Um, while in talking about these pieces, um, they resonated with our committee so much because of just the thought of your ancestors guiding you and leading you. And that is something we need, especially in 2020. Kristen, talk to us about the oldest town in Texas and your journey guiding it.
Yeah, so the oldest town in Texas is actually a part of an anthology of short plays about my maternal ancestors, where I've taken each woman in my maternal line, the women that I named when I introduced myself, and I'm writing a play about everyone. So starting one for me, one for my mom, all the way back. And then I'm imagining 3 generations forward. So a play for my unborn daughters and their daughters and my great-granddaughters. And really doing this work in the purpose of healing, thinking about what it means to reimagine our stories as victories. Earlier, when we were in our Zoom green room, we were talking about hope and what narrative has the ability to do in terms of giving Black women hope. So in the plays that I'm writing, there are only Black women in the anthology, first of all. And I'm really curious about what it looks like when we win. And I feel like we need more stories of us having wins, because they've happened historically, they're happening now, they're going to continue to happen. And it's such a well of strength to draw from when we know, look at what our ancestors did. It wasn't all just suffering. It wasn't all just oppression. Like, we are able to come up and above and through all of that as well.
I love that. I love that so much. What happens when we win? Ooh. And I love seeing your 3 characters win in this moment. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
Bianca, talk to us about collaborating with Kristen. I felt like in rehearsals, we were actively decolonizing the space because you were allowing the actors to bring their stories to life. You spent a lot of time getting to know your company. How do you work with a director whose story is so deeply connected and allow the actors to feel that connection as well?
When you're working on something like what Kristen wrote, The Oldest Town in Texas, you got to talk about roots. You got to say, who are you before we even get started, just so that we all have a base of, this is where I'm coming from, this is what I'm bringing. And then everybody begins to form their little pot, right, of information that I know about them and everybody knows. So then I'm able to throw more stuff into the pot. Then somebody can take something out of their pot, throw it into somebody else's pot. And we're making this big stew, if you will, to share with everybody. And so I felt that it was important to get to know folks, because you often, when you're in these spaces, you don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. And what discoveries did both of you make in in working together, Kristen, were there things that you found in being in the room with Bianca? And are there things, Bianca, that you found that changed the way that you approach storytelling from getting to be with the script?
Yeah, I think my most exciting surprise working with you, Bianca, was just the way that you're able to, like, it feels like you're in this constant process of decolonizing how you are relaying information to the cast and to me, and able to like speak the language of our training. Like, we all have been trained in these white spaces, but to say, okay, now this is what's useful from that. Leave that bullshit, if I can say bullshit, like all the colonized, oppressive bullshit that they taught us. Leave that, but actually take this thing they taught you about your breath, this thing they taught you about language, keep that. And we want to apply that in this way. And this is how that's actually connected to like our ancestry. Like the day you got up and you did the ring shout dance, and you connected that movement to how we shout in the church, I was over here ready to cry. I was like, Bianca, yes, because we have this young company. And I'm like, yes, well, the two of them are younger actors. Like, yes, you better connect them to their ancestry and show them like the through line of our traditions and how that shows up here. So I was delighted by that. And delighted by that. Yeah.
It was important for me to get them going because, you know, it's all that stuff that's in that you saw from your auntie and your mama who got it from and they're not actors. They just is, you know. I'm sure Kristen will come back. Oh, there she is. You know, your aunties and your mamas and all of those people that you got your thing from, that you got trained, then you got trained by white folks, and then you bring all of that to this script. Well, you bring in auntie, mama, and them, and then you can use the stuff that, you know, we learned in these classically training facilities institutions that we've been in all of our lives, and then incorporate and be like, don't forget auntie, mama, and them, because that's the ring shout is way back there, and you bringing it all the way forward. And I think it's important for folks to remember, Black women actors and male actors, that as we're acting, there's some stuff that calls for the culturally appropriate Beyonce-ness of something, right? But there's some stuff that just calls for the simplicity, which is what, Kristen, you drew down in your writing. Is it just this real simplistic way of telling us, you had your knee on my neck, and I want you to stop. I could have fed your babies to you as I was suckling your child, but you trusted me. It's just real simple words. All you got to do is say it, because the volume of all the things you coming with from auntie, mama, the ring shout, the cuss out, the church, the Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. All of that, you know, comes right together in Kristen's words. So they don't have to do a lot. Whereas we've been so conditioned that you got to do a backflip and jump over to try to entertain somebody, when in fact, not this one. You know what I mean? Just not this one.
That's good. That's so good. I love any reference to Fannie Lou Hamer, first of all. And I
thank you for that PBS video.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Go watch the Fannie Lou Hamer documentary on PBS. I want that courage and that calmness and confidence from her. And you did that in Louisa. You brought you summoned that spirit. And so Tavia, talk about that. I think one thing that I loved about you is that you've gotten to work under Black female directors and learn from them. Bianca was talking a little bit about, and Kristen, about decolonizing the space and taking what is necessary and what isn't. Mm-hmm. And I would love to hear your approach to directing in that. Especially with Queen Nanny, which is just loaded with so much history.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, I've had the opportunity to be mentored by phenomenal Black directors, Black female directors, who really emphasized decentralizing white supremacy in the space, you know, which includes collaboration and respect and listening. You know, there is a kind of breaking down a hierarchy that we had kind of been working with in theater for all of this time. And so, you know, it was wonderful to work with Jasmine because there was such a synergy there from the very beginning. We both had a very similar vision. We both had a very similar work ethic and work process. And so being able to speak with her about what Queen Nanny was about, where it was centralized, and making that the focus of the space. And so luckily, because it's based in Jamaica, other than rooting it in what is happening now and how we're struggling with things now, we didn't need to address it. It didn't need to be addressed. We got to work in our power. And that's what I wanted to acknowledge. I wanted to acknowledge why Queen Nanny was powerful. I wanted to acknowledge why Obioye was royalty. I wanted to acknowledge why Akosua could be strong and resilient, and then how that spiritually translated into Chantal. And we had a wonderful actress, Kayla, who was able to take both of those characters and make them her own, and really just thread that power and that legacy and that ancestry through each of her interpretations. And it was an honor. It was really beautiful. I cried a little bit. I know Jasmine and I got on the phone at one point, giddy. We were literally giddy with excitement about just what the cast was bringing to the piece that we hadn't even anticipated, you know? And I think, like Bianca was saying, like you guys were saying about Bianca, is just decolonizing that, deconstructing, centralizing that white supremacy and that white message, because that doesn't have to be part of our story, you know? And so finding that power on our own, it was really, really fulfilling.
I love that. I love that. Jasmine, your piece talks, Queen Nanny talks so much about the importance of tapping into the power of our ancestors and remembering the courageously bold things they did to overcome in moments of oppression. Talk to us about your connection to Queen Nanny and how it's informed you as an artist.
Yes, so the journey to writing this play was a spiritual journey that took so many months of research, and then I came across Bold's calling for writers and decided to write this story. Queen Nanny is a queen mother warrior, and I believe that her spirit lives within me. And in this time that we're living in right now, this political and biological and spiritual war that Black people are facing, I drew from her story. I drew from that power. My family is Jamaican, and again, trying to navigate how to use my voice today, how to stand up for myself, how to be active politically. I drew from that energy, and that whether I'm on the front lines at a protest or I'm here at home writing, I can still use my voice. I can still have that same spiritual energy within me. So that's what the journey was.
I love that so much. I did not know that this piece, I've always assumed that has lived with you for a long time, which it has, just not on paper necessarily. So that is so powerful. I am inspired by that. Yeah, talk to us about both of your process, and I felt like y'all were our first rehearsal, and I felt like y'all made so many discoveries about your cast that then informed the piece in different ways.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Anthony Adu, who played Obioye, he is of Ghanaian descent and he is Yoruba. And that just aligned perfectly. After that rehearsal, in having conversations with him, I wanted to make him feel as connected to this piece as possible, because the Jamaican people, the Maroons, are of Ghanaian descent, and like I wanted that authentic energy there as well. Kayla just brings this forward moving energy that I think both Akosua and Chantal speaks to. And Terry is just like, she's just a queen. I mean, she really is just a queen. And Xavier brought that grounded, still energy. And like, yeah, that first rehearsal, it just, the way everything kind of aligned, it was just like, I was like, this is perfect. Like, so it felt like everything came together perfectly for that first rehearsal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely a discovery. And, you know, Jasmine and I, we're both very early in our career as director and playwright. And so, you know, we were able to lean on each other, and there were things that we needed to discover as we went along in the process. And it was exhilarating to, you know, from going through the casting process, and we had very similar views, and, you know, we knew Anthony right away. You know, there were certain views that we had about the people that we wanted to cast that were very in sync, and we knew right away what we wanted. And then to see them bring it all to life when we got in the room. And like you said, there were discoveries that we made that we were like, oh yes, absolutely. Kayla, Chantal, the Chantal Akosua character was not supposed to be dual cast. And then we talked to each other and we're like, she's it. She's it. She's both, you know. And then watching her do it in the room, and even watching her do it in the rehearsal room and do it in the recording room, and just seeing her click in. And Jasmine and I were so in sync that, you know, she might be wanting a particular note, and then I'd be like, hey, can you adjust this? Can you do this? And Jasmine would be like, yes, that. Wow. You know. And so it was just exhilarating. There's no better feeling. If I can speak for you, Jasmine, as a playwright and as a director, to see the piece that you are trying to bring to life really come to fruition in exactly the way that you pictured it and more.
Yeah.
Just Jasmine and Kristen, you can speak to this too, but if you could choose one word to describe the feeling of seeing something, hearing something for the first time that you wrote on paper, what's one word to describe that?
The first word that came to mind for me was tingling. As Tavia just mentioned, this is the beginning of my career as a playwright, but I've been an actress for years. And to be on the other side of this work that we do, to pour my heart and pour my story out on the page, and then to see it like actualized, to hear people speak the words, like the feeling is just tingling. Like it's a different high from being on the stage, but a beautiful high nonetheless.
I love that.
My word, I think, would be stunning. I mean, particularly with this piece, because they are I've written my ancestors onto the page. So to see their like words embodied by living Black women is, it takes my breath away. It feels so, and to do it with this company of Black producers and a Black woman casting director and it's just amazing. It feels so good. It's like, I was telling a friend, it feels like some version of utopia to be able to work with y'all and create in this space.
It is very special, I will say. We have over 40 Black women working on this project, which is just special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jasmine and Kristen, in your utopia, where would you like for this piece to live?
On Broadway. I have so many ideas for Queen Nanny. I could see it as a TV series as well. In terms of theater, I would love to see it like maybe at like the Public Theater, because I just feel like this story needs to be accessible. I've even had friends who've read it say that they could see it as an animation as well. I have so many ideas for it, but Yeah, who knows?
I love it.
Yeah, I echo everything Jasmine just said. And I'll add, I would love for as many Black women who don't necessarily have access to theaters to be able to experience it too. So like in schools, and here I'm in Ghana, so here in villages or, you know, in community spaces, I've tried to write these plays in such a way that they really can be performed outside and not require too much tech. So yeah, wherever Black women are, I would like for my place to be.
I love that. I want a shirt that says wherever Black women are.
Yes, that's where I want to be.
You've seen the work, you've gotten to know these incredible, bold women. And so I just want to say thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Jasmine, Kristen, Tavia, for being here and sharing yourself and the work. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you again for tuning in. Over 40 Black women made tonight's viewing possible.
That is bold. That is restorative. That is why Bold exists, to build up Black women in the performing arts for the restoration of culture.
If you have been moved by tonight's work, we encourage you to make a bold move by clicking the link in the description box and donating.
For more information, follow us on all social platforms at I Am a Bold Woman and on our website at boldnyc.org.
We can't wait to share with you all the bold things we're up to. Bye.